everyone, so today I'm doing a very requested video on how to build up your makeup collection if you're a beginner and if you're on a budget. Honestly, today companies are buying each other, and often some products that are very expensive and high-end will often have some really amazing dupes in the drugstore because the drugstore company is actually owned by the high-end company, if that makes any sense. So basically there is a lot of really similar products, and there is really nothing wrong with spending a lot less money in the drugstore and getting the same quality. So today I'm going to show you products that I truly use every single day, and honestly, 60% of my collection is drugstore, and I really like drugstore products because it's so accessible to a lot of people and more reasonably priced. So I really don't think that you have to sacrifice good quality in order to pay better price for a product. So I'm really going to show you all the basics and everything I think that a good makeup collection should have. So if you're just beginning into getting into makeup, I think that this video should be really helpful for you. I'm gonna go over everything and just kind of show you my favorites. If I don't have a favorite in a certain category, like a bronzer, although no, I do have a favorite bronzer, okay, I have to get that one. But if I don't have a favorite, I'm not gonna mention that category because I don't want to show you something just for the sake of showing you something that might not be so great and that I truly use. But everything in here I have on my face right now, so I'm just gonna show you my favorites. So I'm going to start with the base, and my favorite drugstore foundation is actually the L'Oreal True Match. Absolutely wonderful foundation. Wherever you live, I think you will be able to find this one. Honestly, for drugstore brands, I think that L'Oreal is definitely my favorite. I mostly like everything I tried from them, and they are more on the high end of drugstore, but it's still really good price. And I think this foundation is just so gorgeous because it's very lightweight. But I'm not gonna go too much into it because I do have a tutorial or a whole review on it that I'm gonna link in the bottom bar, so you can go and check that one out. But definitely recommend this foundation. But if you don't really need foundation, if you have pretty good skin and you don't like the feeling of foundation, then definitely I would recommend a BB cream or a CC cream. And I really like the L'Oreal Nude Magic CC cream, and this is the anti-redness one. You've seen me use this in a lot of my tutorials. I think this wouldn't work for anybody who's very fair, but if you do have a little bit of a tan, I think this is just so perfect. It has very light coverage, but it just evens out the skin tone, and it just works really, really well. When you're a beginner, I wouldn't think that you really need to use a primer before, unless you really have oily skin and you feel like you need one. Then again, I think that this CC cream would also work with a really nice base and primer as well. If you need some more coverage, you can definitely apply foundation over this one, and I really like this. For under eye concealer, I totally have a favorite that I'm obsessed with. This is the Maybelline Dream Lumi Touch Highlighting Concealer. Absolutely fantastic. If you have very dark circles, I think this would work really well for you because it's really light, it doesn't cake up, it doesn't crease, it doesn't look fake under the eyes, and I just think it's just so perfect because it does conceal any blue areas or anything. So what I do is I just usually apply it right in the inner corner and kind of drag it outwards, and then I just use my fingers to dab it in, and it's just so wonderful. I absolutely adore this concealer, and it's a really good price as well, so I definitely recommend this one. My favorite drugstore blush is by far my Wet n Wild Pearlescent Pink blush. I actually use this all the time. It just has a little bit of shimmer in it, which gives a gorgeous sheen to the cheekbones, and it just goes with a lot of different looks. So I think if you are gonna get just one blush to begin with, I think that you can definitely get this one, and it's so inexpensive. It's a few bucks from the drugstore, and the quality is really, really nice. And a lot of people say that it's a dupe for the Nars Orgasm. I didn't try it, so I don't know, but I really like this color because it looks really natural, and I think it would suit a lot of different skin tones. My favorite bronzer that I almost forgot is the L'Oreal Glam Bronze Bronzer. You can get this without the highlighter side, and you can just get the color, and this is the shade Harmony Brunette, and I just love, love, love this one. It's great for warming up the complexion, but it's also really matte, so you can definitely sculpt your cheekbones if you want to. Not that somebody who's a beginner, I don't think you really have to get the bronzer immediately. I think it's a much better idea to start with a blush, and then when you're comfortable with applying blush, you can probably move up to bronzer. But I like this one also because here you will get a brush that I tossed because it wasn't that good, but you also have a mirror, so it's a really good compact to have with you. And again, another L'Oreal product. It's just so great quality, and I just really like it. And I also have to mention some tools that you can find at the drugstore. I think that the best bet is to buy the Real Techniques brushes. They're synthetic, they wash really, really well. This is the blush brush that I'm completely obsessed with. I have a fuzz on my face. Okay, that I would recommend all the time because it's so soft, and it's just really great for blending. And they have a ton of different brushes. They have stippling brushes, they have eye brushes, they have face brushes and everything, and they are a bit pricey for drugstore, but they're definitely worth it because I think if you have good tools, I think that, you know, any kind of product will work a lot easier on your face. So definitely, if you are going to invest in something, go for the brushes, and I totally recommend that Real Techniques ones. For eyeshadow, I think you really can't go wrong with the Wet n Wild palettes. They have a million different ones, a lot of different shades. This is the Naked Truth little palette. This one is especially good for like your everyday look, so you can just, you know, do a little contouring and get it nice and, you know, natural, but still a bit more polished. And I really do recommend this palette for doing that. I have been using it a ton since I got it, and the quality is just really good, and they last a long time on your eyelids. Again, if you have problems, you can invest in a primer. There is the L'Oreal Decrease eye primer. The Elf makes one as well. So if you do have oily eyelids, feel free to use a primer before it. But honestly, most of the time I will just use my under eye concealer on my eyelids to neutralize any veining, and then apply my eyeshadow, and it just lasts perfectly. So I definitely recommend these eyeshadow. And then if you want to like have a little pop of color or something, you can get some individuals, and my favorite ones are the L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadows. They're basically just a little pressed pigment, and the colors I have is Innocent Turquoise and Bronze Goddess, and these are just so perfect. They're really shimmering, so they're gonna give you something extra to your everyday eye, and they're really inexpensive, and they are so buttery and perfect and blend out so nicely. You can even just apply it to your eyelids and blend it out, and you have just, you know, one color smoky eye, and it just looks really perfect. Now for eyeliners, I don't really have pencils that I really adore from the drugstore, but I do have my favorite gel liner. This is the Maybelline Gel Liner in black chrome. Really good, blends well, easy to apply, but I don't think if you're a beginner that you should necessarily start with a gel, just because it is a bit more complicated and you have to get like a brush to apply it and everything. So if you're a beginner, I wouldn't go with a gel immediately. It's something you can build, you know, from like liquid. I think that liquid is a pretty easy formula. I mean, it definitely takes some time to get used to, but it's a really good once you kind of get a hang of it. And my favorite one is the Soap & Glory Super Cat. Now, I'm not sure if you would really consider this drugstore, because in the UK this is sold in the drugstore and it's really fairly inexpensive. It's around £10. But in US, I think you can only get it from Sephora, but again, it's not too expensive, and it really is a great eyeliner because it's really pigmented and it's really forgiving because the tip isn't too flexible. So it just kind of, you can press it on your lash line and glide it over, and you will have a really nice and smooth line. For drugstore mascaras, a lot of people really love the Maybelline mascaras, and they're fine. I'm not a huge fan just because I think there's something better, and it is the L'Oreal mascaras. I absolutely adore each and every one, and I've tried all of them and they're all equally amazing. My current favorite is the Miss Manga mascara, just really gorgeous, and it has a really interesting wand because it's really flexible, as you can see, and it just gives, you can kind of build it up to get a more dramatic effect, but you can also get a really natural and wispy lashes, which is my favorite look to do day to day. And I really like the Volume Million Lashes Excess Mascara, also really good. I think this is slightly more kind of, not spidery, but it will kind of give you more volume and more dramatic lashes that are just not really perfect for day-to-day, but when I'm going out, this is a must-have for me. But for day-to-day stuff, I really like the Miss Manga one. And lastly, the lip products. My favorite lipstick from the drugstore is the Wet n Wild Mega Last Formula. The color that I'm holding is Think Pink, and it's just, you know, a great kind of, oh, I hate the expression, but my lips but better. It's just really is that kind of shade, and I really like this one. I also have the Berry Doll, which is a nude shade, and I wear that all the time, especially if I have more of a dramatic look. That's the perfect lipstick because it's nude, but it doesn't make you look kind of, you know, really funky. These can be a bit drying, but they're super long lasting, and if you apply a balm underneath it, then they're just perfect. And another favorite lip product is the L'Oreal Glam Shine little lipstick crayon, and this is the shade Sin for Peach. I don't really think that this is anything to do with peach. I'm wearing it on my lips right now. This is more of a mauve pink blushing shade, and I think this is just so gorgeous because it has a hint of violet in it, and although it is perhaps a bit darker, it definitely looks really natural and very flattering on, so I definitely like this one. And I also have the Fall for Watermelon shade, which is more of a sheer red, and I think when you want to brighten up your complexion, that shade is really perfect to do that. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you have any other like drugstore kind of recommendations for glosses or some categories that I didn't really cover, although I think I did a pretty good job with covering most of the things. But if you have some other recommendations, please share it with everyone else in the comments below so you can also help someone. And if you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I'm gonna have my links in the bottom bar. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon in the next video. Bye!